And then okay. And then once again, to those who have not met me, my name is Roslan Shapri. Right. I'm also known as RS Lan online on most of my advertisements or my presence online. I'm from MC3. I'm also a probationary estate agent with MC3 lah. Okay. So without further ado, let me share my slides first, and then we go on with this lah. Okay, can you guys see this? I think you can. All right, so we are still under a lockdown. Okay, lockdown, uh, which is now called FASA and no longer being called PKP or MCO, with whatever that means. So, as to what my understanding is that there's gonna be about three phases of this FASA: phase one, phase two, and phase three, and this could end up by December, if I'm not mistaken. So nothing much to look at on this, to be honest. So what we have to do now is really look back at ourselves and see what we can do to help our own self, and also what we can do to help uh, those around us, and also our colleagues as well, especially those under Redfield KW Malaysia. Okay, so once again, like what I mentioned in my previous session, tactic number two, remargin of business. We are also now still in a market shift where everything is changing, and but not to what we actually want. But always have to remember that a shift is not going to be the end unless you choose to have to take it as the end lah. Right, so a shift is a shift. We have to face it no matter whether we like it or not. Right, and based on the book, this book, right, this shift by Gary Keller, there are 12 tactics. Again, like, let me repeat that, based on also as how I mentioned this in the previous session. 12 tactics for a for the tough times. We have 12. So we are now in the third session ataupun third chapter of the book, which is to do more with less, or in other words, to leverage. Okay, all right. Tactic number three is do more with less, leverage. And where we are no longer able to change the situation, we are challenged to change ourselves, by Frankel. All right. So this is couldn't be truer than anything else, because a situation which is favorable to us, we may have lots of good things, good moments that we go through all those things. But when we are faced with a situation where we cannot handle the situation, we are, whether we like it or not, we are forced to challenge to change ourselves. Right. Okay, so in this chapter, during this shift, this is stated that it's time for us to work both smarter and harder, and evaluate which resources and services must stay or go. Consider effectiveness and efficiency as tools of necessity, and to see what bang you can get for the bucks you've got. Meaning that we have to increase our productivity, but at a lesser cost, ataupun uh, at the lower cost of operations lah, in order for us to achieve the target or the goals that we want. We have to work both smarter and harder. That everyone will have to do it. Okay, and the keyword to to shift during this time is to do more with less. All this while, we have been doing a lot of things that which is very effective to us, and it's been producing lots and lots of revenue, or producing success, or producing results that we want. But in a situation where a shift occur, we may not get the same result as what we have, based on what we do during good time. So this is sometimes that when you have to shift and you have to change your mindset during this kind of situation, where you have to do more with less. So you meaning that you want more, but you have to look at all the evaluate back on the system, on the whatever things that you do, so that you won't be spending more, but you'll get better results in a difficult situation like this. Okay, because a market shift is an opportunity to first to evaluate. When you say evaluate, what do you evaluate? You evaluate your own self, you evaluate your business, you evaluate where you are, you evaluate where you stand, and you evaluate the whole general purpose of you in this business. We're talking about the business lah. Okay, so you have to evaluate every single thing, and this sometimes also involves your family, involves your workplace, involves your the goals, even involves your whatever methods that you have been doing, in order for you to successfully sustain yourself in this shift market. Okay, and you have to upgrade. Okay, upgrade means not to say that upgrade yourself with a new car or those kind of things, but you have to upgrade in terms of what, after evaluating what you need or what you are where you are now, you have to upgrade certain things which is relevant, or which is important to that evaluation that you have made. For example, you have to upgrade in terms of your manpower. You have to upgrade in terms of your mentality or your team's mentality. You have to upgrade your how you talk, how you speak to your clients, or how you speak to your team especially. And you have to upgrade what are the things that you need to do in order for you to be to be safe in this kind of market situation or market downturn in the shift, right? And you have to top grade your business. Okay, because you have to understand, in a market shift, especially in real estate, there's about 40 over thousand registered rents in the market right now. So if let's say all of us are trying to survive, the keyword is survive. So a lot of people will try to do a lot of things in order for you to survive in this market. So in this book shift, number three, tactic number three, is that you have to top grade your business. What does it mean by top grade your business? This is where I'll talk more on how to do this, on what are the things that you're supposed to do or need to do on this. Okay, so in a shift, instead of hiring to get the work done, it may be time to reassess and to upgrade your people. Okay, and instead of just managing the flow, it may be time to retool and upgrade your system. So in this chapter tactic number three, the emphasis is more on the people and also more on the system. So instead of hiring those, especially those handling the company or handling an agency, instead of hiring more people to get work done, but you have to reassess that instead of getting more people to do it, you get people who are more capable or more efficient in doing the job that you need to be done. Because you know more people doesn't mean that you can get the work done efficiently, but sometimes the top people who are in line with what you are thinking, in line of what you are trying to do, will probably produce better results in terms of efficiency of what you are trying to get. Okay, and instead of just managing the flow, it may be time to retool and upgrade your system. This is where retool, meaning in terms of your computers, because most of us now are basically more on the world wide web. We need all these computers, laptops, phones, webcams, whatever things that we need in order to minimize the cost in terms of the general overhead of a business, and also and upgrade your system. Upgrade your system doesn't mean more on the system or in terms of peripherals or hardwares, but it's also more in terms of your the IT, the technology that you use to supplement or to support the business that you are having now during this hard time lah. Okay, like what Diane King of Woodland said, more staff doesn't equate to more productivity. The phenomenal few can outperform, outproduce, and outpace the mediocre many. This holds true in I see in many uh, agencies or companies. They have thousands of for example, they have thousands of rents, but the actual ones that are really producing are probably about 10 to 20% of that. So this is an idea where only the 10 or 20%, if you are doing this, this is where you have to cut costs, where you have to cut loss in certain things. And if many are doing having teams or having people working together, but most of us, if not all, are doing this on a solo or a single entity as a rent. So you have to adapt to the flow, where how do you readjust yourself during this downshift in the market, right? So what you need to do is you always have to go back to basics. Okay, what are the basics? Okay, in normal circumstances, a normal occurrence, or a normal business, where if you have been doing a lot of good things, your methods have been working, your plans have been working, you always feel that you are winning, you are always in front. So in this kind of situation, in this kind of downshift, what you need to do is that you have to play like you are behind. Because if you think always have that mentality on thinking that you are always ahead, you probably won't be ahead that long. So you take a step or two step back from the rest and make sure that you know, or you can see whatever is coming in front. And this is where you reevaluate whatever things that you do, whatever plans that you have, in order for you to be in front, but at the same time playing like you're behind. Okay, want to stay ahead, then play like you're behind, meaning that you have to be prepared for whatever things that you can, because every action, every plans that you have, that you make, will have a consequences on the results, and in the end will have consequences on yourself, also on your business as well, even if not on your personal gains as well. Okay, so you're ahead as how you played it, like I mentioned just now. Now you are behind, so what do you do? Okay, so you do what all great businesses do. You focus tightly on the basics. Okay, so what are the basics? Four questions, straight questions to ask yourself. The first question is, what are my business priorities? Meaning that now, if you are doing this alone as a single agent, like what I'm doing now, I don't have a team. Those who are having a team, the kind of question you can ask, what are my business priorities, or what are the priorities of my team, what are priorities of my business. So you have to underline this and go back to basics and really understand or lay out what are the priorities of your business. For me, what are my priorities? So my priorities are probably, getting a sale or closing a sale or getting listings. Okay, and what are the things that which is priority now in this current situation. The second is, when do I need to get it done? So you already have your priorities. Then the next question that you have to ask yourself or your team is, when do I need to get done? Do you need to wait until the lockdown is lifted, or do you need to do it now, or do you need to even do it yesterday? So this will depend on your business priorities as well. This will depend on what are the goals that you want, what are your priorities that you want in your business, and what are the target that you want to achieve. Okay, and you have to know who is the best person to do that. For a team, the team leader or the one handling the platform, for example, they will know who is the best person to do them. So this is where you start to delegate on certain tasks, where you know if he is the best in creating advertisements or creating social media videos. This is the person that will have to do it. Or if this is the person who is good in cold callings, or good in getting lead generation, so this is the one that is going to be the one that you choose for the best person to do them. Not to say that you leave everyone out, because in the team, everyone will have to play their part in order for you as a team or as a group to achieve what you want. So as a person who is doing this on a single basis or on a solo basis, who is the person to do them? There's no one else but you. You will have to do this, but you have to go back to ask yourself again, what are your priorities? And then, as one person, if you think that your priorities are everything, you probably won't be doing anything, because there are limits to what one person can do, and there are limit to what type of goals. It's okay, it is a must for you to think big, but At the same time, you have to look at yourself on your capabilities of doing this alone. Okay, and who is the best person to do them? It's always you yourself. And how should they be done? So if you see the four straight questions here is always what, when, who, and how. And how should they be done? So how should they be done? If you are a team, you already know, or probably you have already planned that how this should be done will be spread or delegated to your team members. But for you, as the one who are doing a solo agent, you have to know how to do it, because as a solo agent, not only that it's going to be involve you, it's going to involve your time, it's going to involve your family, it's going to be involve the house or the home that you are staying now, because that is going to be your home for the next 2 or 3 months, the office for the next or 3 months. So you always have to ask yourself what, when, who, and how, because all these questions I cannot answer it for you, and no one else can answer that for you, because you are the only one that knows what are your goals, what are the things that you need to do. Okay, so these are the basic, straightforward kind of questions that you need to ask yourself before you start on planning or start to do a shift tactic number three. Okay, in any business, there are six core competencies of a business. I think everybody knows this. One, you have to lead generate, capture, and convert to appointment, because we are basically in the business of lead generation. You don't lead generate, you are no longer valid, or you are no longer relevant in the business, because without lead generation, no one knows you and you know nobody. Okay, once you get that lead generation generate, this the second is present to buyers and sellers and get agreements either to sell, to rent, to get the listing, those kind of things. The third is to show buyers and market sellers. All right, this is the sequence that normally the six core competencies of a business that in real estate. And number four, once after showing, you have to write and negotiate contracts on this. Okay, coordinate the sale to closing, and the last is manage the money. See, these are the basic six, and you cannot jump from number one to number five, number five to number three, number one to number six, because everything here is already according to what they are supposed to be done, whether you like it or not. Okay, so we know the answer to this first question because it's the fundamental six priorities in your business. You don't have this lead generation, all the other five is not going to be relevant to you. And we know the answer to the second question because this priority show up in your business in this precise order. Whether you like it or not, it's going to be this one. Once you lead generate, then you have to present to buyers and sellers. Whether you present, whether you want to get the listing or you want to present that you are selling a listing or those kind of things, it's gonna come in number two. And all this number one to number six is the mission is to get these priorities from number one to number six done in order at the highest possible level with the least amount of resources. Okay, the keyword here, the least amount of resources, especially in this current downshift. Right? So if you know what needs to be done and when it must be done, then you're left with who and how. Okay, so the only two things that will help or will assist you in this is going to be people and it's going to be the system. The people, either you are with a team or not, people who are the ones going to help you. If you're alone, probably you are the part of this people equation. And system, what are the system that it's needed, or who and how are you going to use the system in order to help or to assist you in order for you to make it or to survive in this current pandemic market downshift. Okay, so people, the first thing that when you talk about people, it begins with you. Whether you are doing this solo, whether you are doing this in a team, or you are whether you are a team member, whether you are head of sales, whether you are a platform owner, it always begins with you. And then from there, it will be joined together and it will create a team that will be going on the same quest for the same goals or target that you have set. Okay, okay. So in any business, in any organization, there are two types of people employed by you, especially in real estate. Yeah. Okay. The two types of people are, one is directly employed by you. Okay. For agencies, estate agents, principals, these are directly employed by you. Employed meaning by contract for service lah. Okay. And they are indirect. They are the second one is directly employed by you. So who are the ones directly employed by you? So The ones directly employed are those you pay or give salary, or you give the part of your commission. For example, 80, 70, 90, whatever amount. So those are the ones that you pay. So you are directly employing all this, and the people in your team that works together to achieve the same goals, and perhaps many of, if not most of our agents work alone. Okay, and in teams, the ones that controls or owns the platform, you are actually directly employing, in a word, the team members that join you. You know, because probably you get certain amount overriding kind of thing, depending on your agreement with your team lah. Okay, so these are the type of directly employed. And to those agents that work alone, we do not have people that we employ. We do not have a team. We do not have anyone that work for us. So we are the one that were employing ourselves in this business. Okay. The second one is we have directly indirectly employed, which whom are the vendors who support us. For example, your contractors, your cleaners, your gardeners, your whoever that assists you or supply their services or give their services to you in order for you to be excellent in your services to your client during a sales transaction. So these are the people who are directly employed by you. Okay, the first part, you may not have people that you directly employ, you don't pay a salary to them. But the second part, I think most of us will have this, we indirectly employ, but we don't tell them that you employ that. We only engage them in terms of where we need their services, where we need their support. So these are the people who are important in this kind of in this shift tactic 3. Okay, so always remember that up market conceals and tough market reveals. So in an up market, when everything is good, all your flaws, all your mistakes, all the shortcomings will be concealed by the market. Because why? You have the money, you have the revenue, you have the income. So you don't see all these simple or small flaws, or the weaknesses that you have been doing in that particular business during that time frame of the up market. But in the tough market, it reveals everything, all the things that you have never seen before, or you thought that you have never known before, it will come up and will show you. For example, when and in an up market, you pay a lot of features, credit, so those kind of things. This is an example, yeah. Features, credit, or thing. So you think that even though those are not giving you results, probably the results you get from probably another portal, but you close one eye and you don't look at the amount that you spend on the features credits now. But in a tough market, when you spend and there's no results and there's no lead generation from them, it will reveal that you are spending unnecessarily, or you are spending at a loss in terms of your business. Okay, so this Terry Brankers from Las Vegas, Nevada said, I'm asking everyone on the team to do more. We've even assigned each buyer agent additional tasks. We all have to do more without spending more. This is couldn't be truer in a team, or if not even in a team, even an organization like us, Redfield KW Malaysia. We have 3 market centers: MC1, MC2, MC3, and we have KW Regional. Now we are all working together, no matter from where your market center is, from whether you're from regional, whether you're from market center 1 or 2 or 3, we are all working together in order for us to show or to gain that upper hand, to boost the company revenue, and at the same time boost each and every one of us income during a pandemic. So this is where everyone will be assigned additional agent tasks. We will have to do more. For example, some of us will do more. For example, like now, what I'm doing now in terms of training, in terms of sessions like this, add on to my portfolio of doing trainings or sessions like this, in order for me to help myself, and also for me to help to those who need help, to those who wants to listen and to need help. Always remember that when I do this kind of trainings or session, I am not an expert or one level above you, or I'm more pandai or more efficient than you. No, I'm also at the learning stage. I'm also going through the shift in this pandemic, in this market downturn, and we are helping each other to help and to do this so that all of us can be one and also to achieve the goal for the company and for all of us. Okay, so when you talk about people, leveraging on people is one of the ways on how we handle our business in the market shift. Whether you like it or not, we have to leverage on people. When you talk about people in leveraging on people, meaning that you leverage on their knowledge, you leverage on their experience, you leverage on their know-hows of things that they do, and you leverage on the manpower itself, the numbers itself. Okay, so that is one of the ways on how we handle our business in the market shift. You can do it alone if you think that you can do it alone, but by going alone you may not go far. But if you go in a team, or not to say a team per se, but if you go and do it with the rest, probably you'll go further than what you ever achieve have ever achieved before. Okay, so leverage has given me a life worth living while I give my clients even better service, and my kids appreciate it too. Why did he say that my kids appreciate it too? Because when you leverage on people, if you do things alone, you may not have the time at all for your family or for your kids. But when you leverage on others, on people around you, those who are in the same mindset or mind frame, that once you do this, you will have time for your family, you will have time for your kids. So that is why leverage on people is quite important in this stage lah. Okay, and then this one, it says think. Assistance first, assistant second. Okay, you have to understand the definition of the word assistance and assistant. Okay, so it sounds the same, but it's two different meaning. Because let me see. In a pandemic, also in a downshift, what you need is assistance. You know, a lot of us needs assistance right now, and the type of assistance that we need may not be the same with each and every one of us. For me, for example, I may need assistance in terms of getting my lead generations out, and some may need assistance in terms of financial, in terms of things to finance to get your business going. And there are a lot of things that other type of assistance that are needed with among all of us. And assistant is different. Assistant is when you have someone to help you, ataupun you employ someone, just an assistant. But an assistant doesn't mean that he or she is giving you the assistance that you need. I hope I'm not confusing you with all this lah. Okay, so just understand the definition of the word assistance and also assistant. Okay, okay. In Redfield in KW Malaysia, okay, one of the things that we can leverage on people is in the team platforms in Redfield. We have a lot of we have multiple platforms that you can choose from. We have for example LCI Plus doing lands. We have Zeta doing if I'm mistaken a high end residential. We have FDRT, we have Legacy, you know, Inshallah, and all those. A lot of platforms that you can leverage on. I'll talk on what how to leverage on the team platforms later. Second is you can leverage on co-agents from other agencies. This is we are still talking about people, yeah. So leverage on co-agents from other agencies. You may have the listing, they may have the buyer. So you work with everyone. So when you co-agent with other agencies, co-agencies, make sure that one, they are registered agents. You know, I've heard stories about people who are not registered and giving you problems. You know, always leverage on that, on people who are registered. Work with other co-agents. You have to understand that as a rent or agent in Redfield, we are not the only agency in Malaysia. You know, there are a lot of others. There are a lot of other companies like IQI lah, Metro lah, whatever. Apa lagi? I forgot. A lot of ni. So 40,000 RAM, 40,000 rents, leverage on that. Co-agents from other agencies and leverage on existing clients. Keep your 33 touches, do your 33 touches and make sure that they know what you are still here doing real estate. And sometimes the touches that you do with them can produce or can result in recommendation for another friend of theirs who are looking for properties or selling their properties. and leverage on your vendors and suppliers. This is the time you leverage on your gardeners, your cleaners, your carpenters, your contractors. Only that this may not be really viable right now because most of them also they cannot go out to work, can, so it's a bit quite a difficult time, but leverage on that as well. They have helped you before, and probably they need you to leverage, are going to leverage on you as well. So sometimes this is time for you to help them as well. Okay. And leverage on talents mean those you see in your group or in your company or among you as friends who are good, who have got talents which you don't have. So you leverage on that kind of talents. Those you see like a friend, you are not in a team, but you see you work as a single agent, for example, and you know that your friend of yours is very good in communication, in English, in presentation. So leverage on their talent, get them to help you on that, and you help them on the talent that they don't have. For example, mathematic calculation, those kind of things. So you leverage on talents and to form a solid group which can help each other. And the most important thing, you have to leverage on yourself. Okay, because you have to remember that you are doing this for yourself, for your family. So sometimes you leverage on yourself. Why I say leverage on yourself? Because without you, there's no point of doing any other things that I've mentioned before. So leverage on yourself in terms of your good feeling sessions, or those kind of things. You have to do that. You have to know who yourself. Okay, and also leverage on time. Leverage on time. Use your time wisely. Do your time block every morning, every day. Doesn't matter like whether it's morning or night, but you have that time block. So you leverage on time, because time it's not gonna wait for you. By the time we finish this, it's gonna be always almost gonna be 10 plus already. And then tomorrow, and after you wake up again and again, it's gonna be like end of July, end of August. So you have to leverage on time. Does it mean by leverage on time? This is where you make sure that every single minute, every single hour that you have in your day are gonna be used for whatever things that you want now, especially during this market downshift. You have to know what are the things that you need to do, the most important things that you need to do on time. Okay? So, anyone not clear on this? If you have any questions, you can just ask, or you can wait until at the end of this session. Lah. Okay? Okay, so these are part of uh, the platform that we have in Redfield, okay, under KW Malaysia. So, why I said leverage on team platforms? For example, those who are now all this while have been doing as a single entity, as a rent alone. So probably this is a time where you need to leverage on this. You can contact any of the team members or the team owners or platform owners or this, and you join them as a team member for the projects that they have. They have ongoing projects, non-stop. Forefront, Dream Runner, FDRT, LCI, and then Legacy. There are a few more. Zeta. I just didn't get the chance to get the logos to put it here. But in Redfield we have a lot. So if as a single negotiator, as a rent, probably this is the time for you to leverage on the platforms, for you to, because sub-sale, your area, you may not be doing as how you want it to be. It may not be as exciting as before. So this is how you can also leverage on platforms, and you start to learn about how to do projects under construction development. So these are part of the some of the platforms that we have in Redfield lah. Okay. So now what you need to do, once you have leveraged everything, you know who to leverage on, what are the things that you need to do. You have to, first thing that you need to do now after that is review your needs and all the options for meeting them. You can combine positions, cut hours, or move to results focused bonus based compensation. Your approach will be as simple as following a 7-step process in next slide. So you have to review your needs, in your business. What do you need right now? Do you need all the platforms are property portals now? Do you need iProperty, Property Guru, Edge Property, Durian Property, social property, whatever semua. Let's say for example you have 10, five of them you are paying. Do you need that? All those five. I think we spoke about this in the previous session, Reimagine Your Business. So if you don't, what are the things that you need to do? And then you can combine position, cut hours. You can combine position, meaning that you combine whatever things that you have with your friend or your team, and you combine whatever things that you need to do and delegate on that, and cut hours or move to results focused bonus based function. There's no point of you doing cold calling from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening. No point of doing 8 to 6. Probably if you want to do cold calling, probably what you need is about 1 hour in the morning, about 9 to 10, the best time to call probably. And the rest of the hours is where you do other things which is suitable to your business. Or move to results focus, which the keyword now is not to be labor intensive, but more on the results focused kind of plans, or things that you need to do, and bonus based compensation kind of thing with your team member lah. And your approach should be as simple as following a 7-step process on the next slide. Okay, this 7-step process is stated in the book, right? In the book. So from 1 to 7, sit down with. This is when you have people to deal with, ataupun people that you employ, or you have a team kind of thing. But if you are doing this alone, you can use this on yourself as well. Right? Sit down with your people and share your vision. With you alone, share your vision with yourself and your family members. Tell them why I say share with your family members. Your vision is that this is for them to know, to acknowledge that this is what you want for them. To your team members, probably to your team, you probably tell them, to your team members, this is what I want. I'm the platform owner. This is what I want. This is my vision. But if you're alone, you're doing this alone, you have no team, probably when you talk to your family, you share your vision, you give them the sense of belonging to whatever things that you are doing, so they understand the movement or the journey that you're going through now. Tell your people the truth about it, and even with your family as well, tell them what you are going through right now, where the business is today, where you see it going. And visit with each person to see if they're with you and are willing to do whatever it takes. This is where you have to do the red light, green light as well with people. Those who wants to work with you, and those who are not willing to work with you to go through all this ni lah. Okay, sorry. Okay, realign job description around the 6 core competencies that must be done. Okay, realign whatever things that the description that I shared just now. Set easy to measure goals, standards, and activities. This can be done to your team as well as to yourself. You don't have to rush everything and have to do everything at one go until you get a burnout, and then in the end you were supposed to run for 6 months, but you only can sustain only for 2 months. No point of doing that. So set easy to measure goals, standards, and activities, and establish a simple training schedule to make sure everyone knows what to do. If you can provide the training, get them to join trainings that is being organized by KW regional. Now we have that every week, probably every day, from 9 o'clock in the morning. We're good now at 9:30 a.m., 9 p.m. There are lots of trainings that is being given now. So establish that habit of attending all the trainings, and meet weekly with each individual to evaluate their success. As a team, as a team leader, as a head of sales, or a team member, a team leader, make sure that you don't lose contact with your people. Even as principals as well, sometimes you need to talk to your people as well, because during this pandemic we don't see each other, and sometimes we lost touch, and when we lost touch, the sense of belonging is not there anymore. So sometimes meet a weekly meeting, either meet by Google or phone call, WhatsApp is good. And these have to work both ways, either from the bottom to top or top to bottom. All right, and celebrate the small victories. And we at Redfield are very good in doing that. You close a deal, we'll have that published in social media. We'll have that published in our workplace, and everybody knows that this particular person has achieved this at that particular moment, and celebrate how, no matter how small the victories are. Okay, to know more on this, you can have the book or get this book to know more lah. This shift by Gary Keller. Okay. Right. Okay. And it's simple in terms of people, leveraging on people. You have to keep it simple. In your business, flatten your organization as much as possible. What does it mean by flatten your organization? Cut off your red tapes. Even you need to have, you just probably just a fine line between you and your subordinates. Just flatten your organization as much as possible, or as how far as you can. And less bureaucracy means more productivity, because in a bureaucracy kind of system, for example, the government is practicing bureaucracy, so there's lots of problems that you see in between from one level to another, and this sometimes hinders productivity because they don't care. As long as they get whatever they need, salary end of the month, they don't care whatever happens. Services out into the drain, things like that lah. Example. So less bureaucracy means more productivity and open communication and feedback. In Redfield, I thank God that we are practicing this. We practice open communication and feedback. I can always message my CEO. I can always message my COO, and they can always message me whenever or whenever when they feel like it's needed. I can message anyone, probably, but you have to know the reason for you to contact them lah. Things like that. Okay, open communication and feedback. When there's a problem and there's a feedback, always listen. Whether it's from your subordinate or whether it's from your superiors, you have to listen and you know analyze on the feedback given to you, because a feedback given to you could be the end, or the for your company, or could be the one that can boost your company further up. Okay. And be aware that top-down imposed change can create frustration, fear, anxiety, unrest, and even resistance. This is where, when I say open communication is simple, is important. You have to keep it simple, because the change imposed from the top up, from the CEO down and forced onto those under the subordinates down there. This can create frustration, and when people are frustrated, they create fear, and they create anxiety, unrest, and even resistance. And there are some that will resist, and this is where things will not go as what the top people want. So you have to be on a two-way channel lah. Okay. And do your best to eliminate uncertainty, and you will eliminate a lot of insecurity, right? So as to what I see, previously when KW started with Redfield in 2019 September, a lot are not sure of what's happening, and this creates uncertainty and a lot of insecurity. In the end, some of them went away to other agencies, but some stayed. Because it could probably, the message has been conveyed to them and they understood. And those who have stayed here, I think, for me myself, I'm talking about myself, I think that is the best decision that I made in my career as a real estate agent, as a negotiator. So I'm still here, because when I don't have any uncertainty anymore with whatever the plans or the things that have been planned. I It eliminates my insecurity. So too much change too quickly can be difficult. People need new information to help them understand and buy into it. Too much change, people with humans are always like they are what would say against change, the resistance to change. So you have to give them ample time to digest whatever information that is being passed down to them, and constant re-education is needed. This is what we have been doing all this while. Re-education of everyone, no matter how old you are, no matter how long have you been in the industry, how new you are, how young you are, always being re-educated with all the trainings that we are giving now. And I'm sure it helps a lot of us. It helps me a lot, especially in terms of the basic, that in terms of sales, and in terms of real estate, what real estate is all about. Okay. And people rarely make the leap in a shift on their own. They need to be led through change. This is very true. Not many will do it on their own. They may need someone to lead them through in order for them to change. Even myself, sometimes I need someone that can give me confidence that I need to make the leap in the shift. So this is where we are important to every one of us. All of us are important to each other in order for us to lead everyone to that change, to that shift in this market, right? Okay, and if you do this correctly, right, people will see strength of your commitment and rally behind you. Do proper, people will be loyal to you, okay, and they'll always be with you. For example, now Jonathan Lee have got of loyal people around him. They vouch for him. Whatever he does, whatever he do, people will follow. That is what the show or the people see the strength of commitment in whatever things that he does, and a lot of other leaders here as well, even everyone in Redfield as well. Okay, and for those who don't get it, they will have made it clear they can't play on your team. Nothing will help the wrong people at this point. You have to accept this as well. You have the positive, you will also have the negative people as well. This you cannot help if they don't want to help themselves. And okay, and by having that, in order to use talent to get good talents, there are four steps. One is check reference. Who are the talents coming from? Who are the ranks coming and joining from you? Get a behavioral profile. Okay, conduct an in-depth interview, test for knowledge and skill. Normally this our Charles Lee will always do this before he gets all any new people into Redfield. Why? To make sure that everyone is on the same page, everyone is on the same platform in order to get to be the millennial real estate agent under Redfield KW Malaysia. And the same standards also applies to your vendor. Same thing. If you work, you are okay, then you are with me in the team. If not, then you're not. Okay. The goal is to hire talent to your team or introduce your team. And those who are assistants are not really assistant. Hope you understand what this is about when I talk about assistants and not really assistant. Okay. And there are times when you have to fire people. So move quickly but respectfully. Don't let them go as if like they are your enemy, because we invited them to be with positive anticipation for their future, and you have to invite them out with the same attitude. MC1, MC2, MC3 regional, whatever business that you have to do, even with your vendors as well. Okay, and because in this current time there is no place for good guys or bad guys, and the time is past for the blame game. We are not blaming anyone for this. We are not blaming anyone, not blaming yourself, not blaming anyone who is not performing. And if it didn't work out, nobody is happy about it. It's time to move on. Both of you will have to move on. You move on with whatever plans that you have, and those who are not happy, they have to move on with whatever things that can make them happy or make them achieve whatever they want. Okay, and always ask these questions: why you need to take actions fast, and why do you need to retain or let go? Because you need help and you need it now. You don't have time to wait. Circumstances have changed. You need talent now, and the more talented team members you have, the fewer you need. So this is even applicable to yourself as a rep. You need to be in a circle where everyone is with the same mindset or the same goals that you have. You cannot work with those who are chincai chincai. You cannot work with those who are going against the law, not following the regulations, all those kind of things. You have to weed out all those things and make sure that your talents or your circle of talents are within your whatever things that you're planning to achieve, your goals. And okay, so that is basically what we talk leveraging on people. So I hope you have understood the basics of the how to leverage on people. Now we go and second why we leverage on system. Okay, in this kind of business during a pandemic, you top grade your people, get them to be on a higher level, higher mentality, higher efficiency, and at the same time you upgrade your systems. Okay, we tend to add stuff rather than improve system. Ask yourself what exactly needs to be accomplished to hit your minimum goals of sales and service quality without any extra effort and expenses, but still maintain high effectiveness. This is where you have to know your priorities. You have to know what to do, when to do, how to do it, all those kind of things. Okay, because you want your minimum goals of sales and service quality, you need to have extra effort, and you have to always maintain that high effectiveness. Okay, remember the word assistance and assistant. You must differentiate these two words. You may have 20 or 30 assistants, but the work is not going to be done. But you may have only two, but the assistance that they give to you may be achievable. May make you achieve whatever that you want to do. So there is two difference when you talk about assistant and assistant. Okay, leverage on system, leverage on technology. Okay, in KW Malaysia, we are striving to be the tech-enabled agent of the country. Okay, and this is part of the things that we leverage on the system command by Keller Williams. Okay, in this command, if those who are not familiar about this, okay, command is where it's a system developed by Keller Williams themselves, and in this command we have campaigns, which is Facebook campaigns, social media campaigns, where we it's collaborated with Facebook, and everything is here. We can just do the campaigns for our advertising, and it costs less, the most less in the country right now. Okay, and we have our database. This is where we keep our own database, which is interrelated to the campaigns as well with our leads, everything. And we have our smart plans. Smart plans is where we leverage on the existing equipment, existing method which has already been done by the system itself. So all we need to do is just change it and to edit it to make or to match to our whatever things that we want based on campaigns. Normally, what we do is that in this is that we have our campaigns, and then once we have the lead generations, we put it in smart plans. Smart plans, we automatically contact the leads using either Twilio, even pricing database. We can have other apps we can add on to whatever thing. This is how we leverage on the technology in Keller Williams that we have. So this reduce a lot of the percentage of work that you need to do alone. If you don't have this, you don't leverage on this, you'll be doing a lot of things yourself. For example, database, you probably have to write in a book, database book, or your phone. You have to monitor your phone, and you don't have campaigns. You probably have to do it directly with Facebook, which is going to be at a higher cost, and you may not get the lead that you need. And also smart plans, you may not know what to do or what to say to your lead that has been generated. And one other best thing in command that we have is the design, that we have all the templates are there, and this saves a lot of time for us rents to create flyers, to create advertising, because it's already there. All you need to do is just change the name, the location, whatever, and you can post straight away to either Facebook or Instagram, this kind of thing. So this is how we leverage on technology in Keller Williams, right? So I am making the market obey me instead of me obeying the market. My business important, but my life is precious, said Donna Grissom from Studio City, California. So we get the market to obey you. By how? By leveraging on system. The system that we have. System that is helping us to do this. The technology that is working for us instead of us working for technology. Okay, and everything must be extremely purposeful. Whatever you do, everything must be streamlined. For example, if you do this, you have to streamline to other things that you do, and you have to get down to basics, to what works at a pretty simple level. Simplify your business on a more focused and efficient foundation. The keyword is simplify, more focused and efficient foundation. We don't have time. You have to put yourself in the place where you don't have time. For example, when you need to submit for assignment, assignment is only 3 days to go to submit. So you don't have the privilege of time to wait until 2 weeks. So you have to do that within that 3 days. So put yourself in that particular situation, and you will understand what does it mean by more focused and efficient. So you automatically know what to do and know what are the most important thing that you need to do. Okay, so that is leveraging on system. So these two important thing under tactic number 3 under this book shift, the two most important is leveraging on people, and also leveraging on system. So if you can master or you can manage to do this, you will have a lot of time. The most important thing is that you'll have a lot of time for yourself, and also a lot of time for your family. Doesn't mean that in a lockdown you have time. No, you think that you have time, but the things that is going on in your mind right now, knowing asking yourself whether will you be closing a deal tomorrow, will you be closing a deal next week, is taking a lot of the space, even though you are at home, even though you are in a lockdown. You have to assess. I think everyone is going through this. You may be smiling, you may be laughing, playing games, but in your mind, only you know yourself know what is going on, whether you are going through this or not. So you have to do this, and you have to get light on your feet, because changes requires everyone to be on board. To change really means that everyone must be on board. Every one of us in Whitfield, in KW Malaysia, have to adapt to this, have to be on board. And adaptive group always expects change, whether forced on them or caused by them. They always they always improvise, adapt to this. Okay, and change causes more change to grow and let go. Okay, but it's always like that. Is the simple logic of common sense of this. You change, it will cause more change, and most of the time what we want is that change to cause a more better change lah. Don't do change and it's going to cause more worse change than that you want lah. So to grow, you have to let go. What does it mean by let go? You have to let go of preconceptions of people and system and what you think they should do. Let go of that preconceptions of people. You have to let go that a lot of things during a pandemic. Now more than ever, you or your team, your personal action, your system must be focused on the 20% that matters. This is the Pareto principle. There is no time or money in doing the 80% now. You don't have time. You don't have time. You don't have the money. Trust me, you don't have the money or time to do the 80% that you have the privilege of doing it before. Now, even though you think that, oh, I'm locked down, I'm staying at home, I got locked. No, you don't have time and you don't have that privilege to do the 80%. You have to focus on that 20% that matters. So you just have to let go of that 80%. Okay. And last but not least is leverage. And I said first is people, system, yourself, and then time. Okay, leverage on time and family. Leverage on your family, because these are the people that you are doing things for, and they are the ones who are going to be supporting you. Your husband, your wife, your kids, your children, all these people. These are the reason why. So leverage on them. How to leverage on the family? Leverage on the love that they give you, leverage on the time that they give you, and leverage on the support and understanding that they gave you in order for you to achieve what you want in real estate. And last but not least, leverage on government assistance. If you think that you need, take that moratorium 6 months. If you think that you need, take that EPF out, because this is the only time that you can take. Those who are nearly 55 should be okay. They'll be taking out everything. But those like in the 40s, 30s, you may have some amount, 100 to 100,000 in there. So 5,000, you can cover back your maybe the interest this year lah. Okay, so leverage on this, all these people, system, yourself, time, family, and also government system. And never forget to leverage on your prayers to His Almighty. It works wonders in times like this. Never forget, God, family, work, all those things, what our mottos are. Because we sometimes forget to leverage on this. We forgot to pray, we forgot to ask from Him. So once you have done all that, leverage on people, leverage everything, you have reimagined your business, everything, then the last thing that you need to do is ask for His blessings. Okay? Sorry. And I think we have, this is a 5 minute, but 4 minutes video. So we'll have a look at this and we'll come back after this.
All right, well, we just got done talking about expense management with tactic number 2, remargining our business, and next we're on to tactic number 3 about doing more with less. Steve, what are you taking away from this chapter?
Yeah, well, what we're looking to do now is we're really trying to make sure that we're using the getting the most from all of our resources, whether that's our finances or in this chapter they're talking about our people. Okay, and so a shift can suddenly create a situation where we have to do more with less. And so there's 4 questions that we're going to ask right out of the gate. Okay. We're going to talk about, well, what are our priorities? When do those need to be done? Who's going to do those? And how should they get done? Now we know what our priorities are. Our priorities are the 6 core competencies. So right out of the gate, everybody who's in real estate, what do we need to do? We need to lead generate. We need to capture those leads and convert them to appointments. Then we're going to go to those appointments with buyers and sellers. We're going to present to them. We're going to come to an agreement either on agency or on a listing contract. We're going to show homes to our buyers. We're going to market our sellers' properties. We're going to write up contracts and negotiate. We're going to manage things from contract to close, and we're going to manage our money. Now, those are all the things that we know have to be done, right?
Absolutely.
So who has to do those? Well, in a lot of cases, it's going to be us, right? And then we have to look at the how, and that gets into systems.
Absolutely. We have to figure out what we can leverage and what we can't leverage. And what you absolutely can't leverage when you're in a real estate professional is the lead generation at this point. A lot of times, if some of you have pulled out of that, it's like you got to get back in there and lead generate for your company.
That's right. And he talks a lot on page 40. I love it. He talks about talent and quality over quantity and things like that. And we're looking to upgrade that, not just with people. Maybe somebody's got a team and so they've got agents or employees or things like that. Many people don't. Many people are single agents, but you still have your whole network. You have your vendors, you have your preferred people that you work with, and you need to upgrade that too and make sure that you're working together for the best of both of your businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. There's 7 steps to a talent shift.
Sure.
When you start talking about, okay, I do have people in my organization, what do I do now? How do I lead them? Steve, what are you taking away from this?
Share your vision, that's number one, and see if people are actually with you, right? You want to redefine expectations and job descriptions around what? Around the things that we have to do, those 6 core competencies, and make sure that there are easy to measure goals.
Yeah.
We want to just make sure people are trained, they know what to do, how to do it, that type of thing. We want to evaluate their success, and then we want to celebrate all victories, personal, business, and especially the small ones.
You want to visit with each person a lot. Like, so everyone that's in
weekly
the
would be
organization,
good, yeah.
at least weekly, because you've shared your vision, you've shared that we're in a shift. It's all hands on deck at that point. You need to be visiting with them, realigning the job descriptions, having those conversations and going, everything, a lot of the stuff that we thought were priorities is no longer the case.
Right.
I think of it as a lot of times like this. If you're in a boat and you're a captain of the ship, and then all of a sudden you hit something and water starts coming in the boat, it's everybody's job inside that boat to start bailing, right? And not that it's a doomsday thing or anything like that. It's just the priorities of the ship have changed, and it's your job as the leader to lead that group to successfully make it home safe.
And to do what really needs to be done. This is a time to make things simple and to focus in on those 20% of things that really get the results.
Yeah, and in this chapter, Keller writes that a great way to play at this point is to play like you're constantly losing. Even if you're taking more listings than you were in the past, still think in your brain that you're behind, still think that you're losing. Stay mentally sharp at this point.
So what people want to do now is begin to evaluate the relationships around them in business. Take a look at all of your vendors, take a look at your suppliers, people that you work with. Are they helping you to grow your business? Are you helping them to grow their business so that you've got that partnership? Yeah,
absolutely. It's time. Now's the time to hold those relationships accountable, just like we do with our money.
Yeah, teams become really important at this time, right? We can't do everything alone. Right. We need to know what we can do best, and then we need to be able to leverage to other people that can help us, and we help them as well.
Right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so basically that video summarized all the things that I said from 10 o'clock, 10:05 just now, and I hope that this can be somewhat beneficial to you during your struggle, or during your survival, or during your quest to be successful during this market downturn. Okay, so for now I thank you and I pass back to Yuan on this lah. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Roslan, for your sharing tonight. So we have a few quick announcements before we get back to our training session. If you have yet to sign up for our Wednesday and also our Thursday virtual trainings, you can actually click on the link in the chat to sign up and join us. So one is happening tomorrow morning. The speaker is Wing, and then there's another session this week which is happening on Thursday, which we will have Winnie talking about overcoming challenges in adopting the technology. Next, please. And tomorrow night, we also have a Facebook Live session with our very own TTDI's neighborhood realtors, which is Naki and Yinping. Do join us at 9 p.m. tomorrow night on our Facebook page. Next, please. During this MCO, we will actually continue to share relevant touch points with our rents to help them to touch base, connect, and follow up with their database. So do stay tuned and download these touch points from the workplace group review happenings every Thursday. Next, please. Lastly, our Red Day initiative is actually still ongoing. So we're actually looking to donate 100 laptops and desktops to underprivileged students. Besides that, we are also collecting cash donations that will be used to refurbish these collected computers. Next. As of 27 June, we have actually collected 31 computers and 11,000 plus of cash donation. Next. So this MCO is actually a quite challenging season for all of us, but do join us in our weekly virtual training so we can reset, recharge, and renew together. Now back to you, Roslan.
Okay, thank you, Yuan. First of all, I thank all of you for being here tonight. At least I don't have to talk to nobody. I appreciate all the presence tonight, and thank you so much for the kind words in the chat box. I thank you. You are very most welcome. And like I said earlier, we are here to help each other. We are here to learn from each other, and we whatever things that we need to do, we do it. Okay, so hope this tactic shift 3 is beneficial to you, and if you think that it's relevant, because to me I think it is, you apply it in your business, in your whatever things that you do right now. So I wish you a very good night. Stay safe always have a healthy mind. All right, and thank you so much for coming. Thank you. All right, Assalamualaikum.